Welcome to the CouncilCast. This is episode number 96, being recorded on October 22nd, 2019. If you are looking for all of our 96 episode jokes, listen to episode number 95.
Yeah, we burned out early there, didn't we?
Yeah, that was not... Timing was a little off there.
Bad premature.
It's kind of like we came early. I don't know.
We did.
But anyway, the council is now in session, and as with every week, we'll make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and...
Arbitrary what?
Arbitrary decisions. Decisions.
Arbitrary incisions.
Arbitrary incisions. Arbitrary incisions on topics about science, technology, and random shit with little background and next to no expertise. All CouncilCast incisions are final and have no bearing on anything whatsoever.
Damn straight.
So
that makes sense.
First incision tonight is the world's fastest ant. This guy, apparently, you probably can't outrun him. He runs at a speed of 108 times its own body length per second.
That's a weird race.
It's equivalent to being able to run a 9-second mile.
What? Well, that's not fair. They're saying that... That's stupid. No, it is not fast. I can run faster than that thing. Not if I were the size of an ant. But maybe I could. Maybe I would be able to.
It is more like the scale of how much it moves. It can move at 100 times its length, which is a very, very small unit per second, which we can probably walk faster than that.
Yes, I would hope so. But think about it. If we had the Ant-Man suit, so we shrunk down.
So you'd be able to run a 9-second mile? What if you had the Ant-Man suit that made you move as fast as this ant, but at human size?
Then you would have the Ant-Man suit.
I just have a question. How do we know this is the world's fastest ant?
It's the fastest ant on record. Because
how fast is your ant?
It's getting a little personal, don't you think? I'm just saying there are like how many ants in the world? Have we had any other opportunity to measure all the other ants?
We're talking about the species of ant, the genome of ant,
the Saharan
class of
silver ant.
I picked up a rock in my backyard the other day, and there was like 1 billion ants. Has anyone measured how fast they run?
I don't know. Are they moving 108 times their body length per second?
I don't know. They were grossing me out. They were just all together. Put the rock back.
Did you
put the rock back down?
What did you do with them? Leave them there?
Put the rock back down. Really, really hard. 100 times.
Well, anyway,
I don't know. Why was he smashing all those beetles?
I wonder if you could probably hit one of these with a rock. I think this should be on the CouncilCast next week. Is Brian trying to smash a silver ant?
You guys, I think that we're really missing out on
that kind of publicity.
On some awesome content here. If we started just, like when Letterman would have Rupert or whatever his name was go out and do stuff, and Letterman would be like, all right, go into that ice cream shop over there. All right, tell him you want a scoop of vanilla. Now tell him you want a scoop of chocolate. Another scoop of vanilla. Scoop of strawberry. Another scoop of vanilla. Scoop of chocolate. Scoop of vanilla. Another scoop of strawberry. Another scoop of chocolate. Okay. Now after you pay, I want you to yell when you leave when you're walking out, turn around and yell, I'm lactose intolerant. I think we can get Brian to do that. Sort of stuff. And we would get the subscribers we deserve.
Do you really mean like deserve?
No, I hope
it really
not.
means the subscribers we desert.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Got
What did
it.
I say? Well, that's cool. I'm happy for this ant that he's running as fast as he is, or she is.
So I
Probably
read
he.
the rest of the article right now, so I'm clearly an expert, and it says that the next fastest ant that they had can only run at 50 body lengths per second, despite having longer
Man,
legs.
that's like molasses.
Exactly. So, I mean,
Interesting.
I think that they should. I like Brian's idea of how do we know this is the fastest ant. So maybe they should take a sampling of all the ants from this species, figure out which one's the fastest, and then they can do that with all the other ant species, and then have a giant race. And in the middle of the race, yeah, exactly.
Olympics.
Oh man, I'd watch Antlympics.
I would not. I give it a thumbs down.
Antlympics or the ant, the fast ant.
This ant's pretty
Dealer's
big,
choice.
isn't it? I mean,
Dealer's choice.
soldier ant in the desert. I mean, it's a pretty big ant, isn't it? It's not like a tiny little thing.
Sure. They did say that apparently the California coastal mite, if you want a faster insect, get a California coastal mite or an Australian tiger beetle.
Like
this thing.
It looks just like that.
That's disturbing. I'll stop doing that.
I think we should have a Guinness Book of World Records for ants. Thumbs up.
Neato.
Hi everyone, this is Beth Elderkin with I Am Mine, and I'm here.
Neat.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
Well, if you wanted to have more moons, you can join Saturn, who apparently astronomers, how about that? It's kind of like
Antstronomists?
Astronomists have apparently discovered 20 new moons that orbit Saturn. I feel like we just had an article in a previous CouncilCast where they had found other moons around Saturn. Like, how does this keep happening? How did we lose moons?
I agree with you. I mean, they've been studying Saturn for we've known it's been there for a long time, and we still can't figure out how many moons are around.
I'm wondering if parts of Saturn are like, I wonder if there's like a moon dragon on Saturn that's just like coughing up moons, and they just kind of, it's actually just like a hairball type thing from a giant moon dragon.
Oh,
I just,
I
I
misspoke.
just searched moon dragon. I don't want you to don't do that.
So apparently they discovered 12 new moons around Jupiter. This is around Saturn. So
Ooh.
Saturn now has 82 moons. I wonder how many ants live on those moons.
And which one's the fastest ant? That's what I want to know.
Well, so can anyone? I mean, why is it so hard to find these? I mean, why is this something that they just figured out?
Apparently it's because so it actually talks about that, and it says that the dude said that because they are so dim. Apparently they're only able to find moons that are a few miles in size around Saturn because the planet is so far away. He suspects that there are more than 100 moons around Saturn that are larger than 1 mile in size, but they just can't see them.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So we need night
Or-
vision goggles for our space cameras.
I think
Yeah.
they need a better space camera. Do you think the Pixel 4 could do that?
The Pixel 4, that's it.
Yes.
Bling!
I hope so.
So in a related story, they strapped 100 pixel whatever those things are cameras to a rocket and sent it up, and it's now orbiting, taking pictures around Saturn. And
100 Pixel 4s.
there's 1,000 moons around Saturn now, so we're really excited about that.
Thumbs up for space. Oh,
I agree.
sorry, Matt.
Thumbs up.
You're here.
Sorry,
You're here
Matt's
tonight.
line.
You're here tonight. You can do your line.
Thumbs up for space.
Nice.
Thumbs up for moons.
I give a thumbs up for just collecting moons. Why not?
No, I don't want to see your Pog collection.
Well, so if you
They'll,
think,
they'll probably end up with 100 moons around there, and then they'll go, by the way, Saturn's not a planet. Make up your
Jesus.
mind.
You were downgrading it.
Saturn is a moon.
It's just a moon
Saturn's its
magnet.
own
That's
moon.
all it is.
well, if the Pixel 4 can't take pictures of Saturn's moons, it can apparently unlock for your face whether or not
Ooh.
your eyes are open.
That's
So
good, right?
Pixel 4, which apparently is shipping this week. People have been reviewing it. People have maybe gotten them already. And one of the biggest features, I think, on the phone is this new Face Unlock feature, which Google uses radar sensors, I believe, in IR cameras to kind of bounce an image off your face, determine if it's who you are, and trying to compete with Apple here. But I think that they may have a slight issue where the phone will unlock even if your eyes are closed or sleeping.
So someone can sneak into your room, open your phone, and then mess with your whole life.
I mean, maybe.
Ah.
I mean, I
Possibly.
get why it's a complaint, but I also am like, how often am I around people that I'm worried are going to unlock the phone while I'm asleep?
That's a good point.
Um,
But it
I
can
mean-
unlock with my eyes closed. Finally, a phone I can
You
read
can
when
easily.
I'm
Okay,
driving.
so first of all, I think it looks like that they're going to take and make this a setting that you can turn on or off. And then it. Thanks, Brian. It is. It is
I was
also.
I was just checking my iPhone here to see if it does it with my eyes closed.
It will not.
How do you know?
It is also pretty easy to put it into the face unlock won't work mode. You just hold down the power button for like a second and then hit the what's it called?
Dang it. He was right.
Lockdown mode, and then you have to use your PIN.
Oh.
So that's like if you're going through like an airport in like a country that doesn't have as good a data laws, or might take your phone and rifle through your stuff, or
You mean
may
like
try to
the
force
United
you.
States?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can put it into PIN mode, and you cannot be coerced to give up your PIN. You can, however, be coerced to give up like a fingerprint.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing here is that from a security standpoint, Face Unlock, you can't
Biometrics are not protected in the same way as
Yeah.
things that you know, like pins.
Yeah.
So when you're going through airports and stuff, you should always flip it onto PIN mode.
And so the fear here is same thing. Like, if somebody got a hold of your phone, i.e.,
They could just point it at
authority
you.
figure, they just pointed at you. Yeah.
Right. No, I get that.
Even if
But
they knock you out.
Then again,
because-
same thing with the freaking iPhone. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
Close your eyes?
It'll happen so fast. What are you gonna do? Just close your eyes? It's literally the definition of you close your eyes and it doesn't happen.
I guess the difference is if they knock you out first, the iPhone won't unlock, and the Google Pixel will.
Well, all they have to do is tape your eyelids open or draw eyeballs on your eyelids.
Try eyeballs. We need a sketch artist here to draw eyeballs on his eyelids so that we can get his phone open.
I just saw a posting for an artist at TSA. Should I be concerned? So it does sound like Google is adding this as an option. I mean, I guess this is a feature if you ever are like, oh, I wish this unlocked if my eyes were closed. Sure. But they are adding this as an
wondering-
option, it does sound like. But it won't be here for a couple months.
Was it so? My question about the rationale for that is it something that the blind community is dealing with?
Blind people don't. They can open their eyes.
They can.
They can?
What?
What? When did this happen?
This is all absolutely new to me.
I don't know who this is for.
Who is what for?
The feature. Who are they making this feature for?
Well, they're making the feature so that you can turn on whether your eyes have to be open or not.
Right, but
Eyeless-
who wants to open the phone
Silas-
if they're not going to look at it?
Eyeless people. Let me just look this up here. How many eyeless people?
How many eyeless people? Yeah, there's just a database out there you can.
Can I just search on it?
I'm almost afraid of the answer.
Eyeless Wiki.
I've been flagged. It says 285 million. Oh, that's blind. That's not fair. I said eyeless.
Cool. Thanks, Google.
Got it wrong
Okay.
again.
So I guess
Wrong again.
if you are concerned about security and you got a Pixel 4, you may want to turn off the face unlock for now, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to go with thumbs up for them fixing it, I guess.
I'm going to do thumbs down because I don't know who this feature is for in the first place.
I'm going to say thumbs down because I'm not sure why it's a thing. Either way.
The eye thing?
Yeah, what's the deal?
I don't know. Who knows? I would guess that they probably wanted to make it so that, like, if you were mid-blink or something like that, it wouldn't screw with the unlock functionality. But who knows?
Maybe they should detect when you blink your eye and then only scan when
Maybe.
you're not blinking.
You'd think so. And then you hold your phone up to somebody who's got their sleeping, and it just goes into an infinite loop of blink detect. And shit, we should have thought that one through.
Or if you're like looking up at the sun and you're trying to keep your eyes open, but you can't. And then you're like, I need to look at my phone because there's no other way to look at it right now. Like that. Maybe that's what it's for. I don't know who this is for. Really bothering me.
I'm not sure either. But you know what? At least you don't have to use 8-inch floppy drives anymore to launch missiles.
Oh, man. How many times have I said that in a day?
Probably 5 times,
Probably
I would guess.
never.
5 times.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said that, I'd have 0 cents. So anyway, the Air Force is finally retiring their 8-inch floppy drive system from missile launch control systems. So apparently, about 5 years ago, there was a report that talked about how old some of the technology is in the defense community, and specifically the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Command System. And turns out that they were still using 8-inch floppies because I believe the reasoning was it was so old nobody knew how to use it anymore. So they didn't have any fear of being hacked.
Let's see,
Amazing.
floppy's pretty standard size.
That's what. No, I think that is. It's like hard to hack a floppy drive. Would be my guess because it's.
It's ancient technology.
Well, yeah,
Matt,
nobody can read it.
you're a
They can't
security
even read
expert. Can you hack
What's
a
that?
floppy? You're a security expert. Can you hack a
With
floppy?
what? Like an axe?
With a computer.
Yeah. How do you
I
hack a
don't
floppy?
think claiming something is so old we can't access it is a very good security method.
Well, that's what, my question is how do you hack a floppy?
If I don't know what you mean.
Exactly. Precisely. It's super safe. Nobody knows what it is, how it works.
Wait.
Like
So
microwaves.
what, did they replace them with 8-track tapes? What did they do?
No, they made a big switch. They actually upgraded to a highly secure solid-state digital storage solution. So they put it in the cloud. That's how I understand that.
It's on Dropbox.
The missiles are in the cloud.
But they are apparently still using the IBM Series 1 computers because of their reliability and security, apparently. So although they have some highly secure digital storage, they're still only going to use IBM Series 1 computers.
Wow.
So I'm sure that's real fast.
Yeah. 2 hours after the world.
They can no longer. It was faster to have
Silky.
the floppies than it was the hard drive. I'm certain of it.
So I like how it says, while the system is reliable, it is obviously expensive and difficult to maintain because there are no replacement parts available. So
The government
Why?
just get
Why
a
do they do
contract with somebody to
this?
build this crap. I say thumbs up for 8-inch floppies.
Yeah, I say thumbs down for switching away from the most secure system in the world.
I give a thumbs
Thumbs
up to
Ancient technology.
I give a thumbs up to whoever signed the service agreement for this because they are probably making a shit ton of money because they can't go
Oh,
anywhere
yeah.
else.
Yep.
I say thumbs down to whoever didn't stay in business making 8-inch floppies for the government.
There you go.
It's a pretty cool article. I had no idea that our missile technology was so antiquated, and that made it safe. And Matt doesn't even know how to break into him because he's like, "What do you break into him with, an axe?" I'm just
It
like,
doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense.
It's just like the it just reminds me of the computer systems with that are on like the International Space Station, and they talk about how old they are, and the reasoning is because like they're so old and they're so
How old are they?
How old are they?
well, just in the way
So
that they work,
old!
that as parts go into space, the radiation can mess up the computer processors, and so like the new processors can't accommodate that, and so they're just like, we'll just use the old stuff. It still works. But what doesn't work is making your shed the top restaurant in TripAdvisor.
That was so good. I sent that to Silas.
He sent it to me. I sent it to Brian. We all read it, except for
had a
Blaine.
good laugh
I
about
did
it.
not read it.
Oh, it was really good.
Oh, dude, you should read it. Like, actually, really read it. Not right now. It's pretty
Holy
long.
crap, that's a long article.
Yeah. I like pulled it up. I was like, oh, what's this? And I started reading a little bit, and I was like, what? I'm going to read a little bit. Like, usually I get through an article, I'm like, oh, I'll just skim. But I was like, fully invested in this. I think I want to turn it into a movie.
It's pretty great.
Basically,
what's
this
the
guy-
premise?
So the guy was and Matt, correct me if I miss pieces here, but the guy was a freelance writer. And he was like, I would be hired by restaurants to write fake reviews for them that were well written and shined good light on their restaurant so that they could help get boosted a little bit higher on TripAdvisor. He said, but I had this he said, that being said, most of the reviews on TripAdvisor are real. And even if I did write a review for a restaurant that was a bad restaurant, they usually were flushed out from the system and it didn't matter anyway. I was just adding a little kindling to something that could catch fire if it was a legit good restaurant. So he had this idea. He thought, I wonder if I could just create a restaurant out of thin air, have nobody go to it ever because it's not a real restaurant, and still get it to be the top restaurant on TripAdvisor. And so he went and did exactly that. He created a website for his restaurant, took these photos, and he took photos with he made up these foods with shaving cream and used motor oil and shoe polish and all this crap, nothing edible. He cooked up an egg and placed it on his foot and zoomed in so that the picture looked like, you're like, oh, that looks really tasty. And then he zooms out and you can see that it's just an egg on his foot. And you're like, oh, that looks real gross. Don't put eggs on your feet.
Oh my
It was so good.
So he puts this whole thing together, starts writing fake reviews and getting other people to post reviews for him and getting, probably using an IP. He didn't go into the full details about how he was writing so many reviews because that would give up the game a little bit for what he was doing on the side as a side hustle. But I'm pretty sure he just had an IP address changer of some kind and was writing all these reviews. He said they started out, and it was in London, which is a very tough market to get highly ranked on. But when you get only 5-star reviews from every single person writing in, it helps to to push you up a little bit faster. They had 18,400 or something like that, the worst restaurant in London, he said. And after, I don't know how many months
Well, he
it took him,
started as it was brand new, right? So it
Right.
wasn't going to really have anything on it.
So, he starts writing reviews. I think it was like less than a year, maybe around 6 months or something like that. Works his way up to number one. He worked his way up to 10,000 in like a month or two. So he beat out 8,000 other people like in a month or two of just writing fake reviews. Then he got up to the top 1,000. And after he hit the top 1,000, that's when things started to get crazy, because he actually started getting phone calls from people to make reservations. The way that he got around it, he had to get a new phone. So they had a phone number set up, because TripAdvisor needs a real phone number. He didn't want to use his phone number because that would possibly give things away. I don't know. And he also didn't want anyone calling his real phone. But he set up this phone number and said for the address that it was by reservation only, so that no one could come down his street and go to his house and go, that's not a real restaurant. It was just on a long street. And he was like, so you have to do it by reservation only. So he started getting phone calls and people were like, do you have any reservations for next month? And he said, sorry, we're booked out for the next 6 months, and then hung up. He's like, what the hell? Somebody actually called me. He started getting tons and tons and tons of calls every time. No, we're booked. No, we're booked. No, we're booked. He finally pushed his way up to the top 100. And then he was getting tons of calls. And he was writing more and more reviews, and finally worked his way up to the top 10 and then the number one restaurant. So he was the number one restaurant. And at this point, TripAdvisor calls him. This part where I got a little fuzzy for me, but TripAdvisor did call and talk to him. Like, hey, we're just touching base to make sure that everyone in our top 100 is having a good experience on TripAdvisor and, making sure about things. And he said, I did come clean and told them, yeah, I'm not a real restaurant. And I was able to write fake reviews and get to the number one spot. And they were like, what? What now? He's like, well, I did it as an experiment and I thought you guys might want to know. And they're like, we definitely want to know. And also, what? He said, we have a lot of time and effort put into making sure that, making sure that people aren't writing fake reviews, and trying to detect those. But we didn't ever anticipate someone creating a fake restaurant. So we had nothing in place to verify that the existence of a fake restaurant. We figured that
because the benefits are like there's nothing, there's no incentive,
right?
Aside from seeing if you can, right?
Right, exactly. Because the only way that you can make money off of a fake restaurant is to turn it into a real restaurant. Unless you're like, hey, I'm going to sell you my fake restaurant for $1 million because it's the number one rated restaurant on TripAdvisor. But so anyway, he decided before all that happened, though, that he was like, you know what? We're the number one rated restaurant on TripAdvisor. We might as well have people over to our restaurant. So he decked out his backyard as the restaurant. And he said on the website, we had talked about how it felt like real home cooked meals. And so what did I do? I went to the supermarket and bought a bunch of frozen dinners. Had my buddy, who actually is a really good chef, microwave them all night for me. He said I had a DJ playing not music, but sounds of a restaurant. So he just downloaded all these sounds that sounded like a real restaurant and had his friend playing it like Foley and background noise in a movie. He bought a bunch of live chickens and told people that they could pick out their chicken to be slaughtered for dinner. So they would take the chicken into the kitchen and hide it in a cage and microwave one of the microwave dishes.
And they're all mortified.
Yeah, because
they were a little bothered by that.
They were bothered by that because he'd written on his website that we're the number one vegan restaurant in London. So he does this whole dinner then. He had a bunch of friends show up to be pretend guests because he only had a few guests come. One was a couple who was on their honeymoon from the U.S. They'd been in Paris the night before, and they, as a treat to themselves, wanted to go to the #1 rated restaurant on TripAdvisor in London. Or and they go to this guy's backyard and eat frozen dinners. And this other table came in and was like, yeah, we, we're very excited to be here. And he's like, oh man, there's no way that anyone liked this. We're going to get bad reviews from this. Let's see what happens. But at the end of the night, one of the tables came up to him and said, okay, so we're just curious, is it easier to get reservations now that we've been here before? Because
they want to come back.
Because I had to wait 6 months to be able to get a reservation with you guys. He's like, yes, absolutely. It's easier to get a reservation here in the future of this restaurant that I'm going to immediately shut down on TripAdvisor after. But I don't know. I thought it was fantastic, Matt. That was an awesome find. I want to turn it into a rom-com. I want I
can't remember where I saw it.
I feel like this scam, quote unquote scam, would be the perfect backdrop to romantic comedy. You know?
Did he charge people for the dinners?
No. Oh, so that was the thing. He's like, I think that they were really impressed because that night we told them that things were being filmed for a documentary, and so all the meals were comped. So he didn't charge anyone anything.
Okay.
So he didn't make any money off of it. So I think that was the way that he was like, no, I could get in big trouble for having opened a restaurant without getting it certified, and I could get huge legal fines. Yeah. But if I just have people over for dinner, don't charge them anything, then it's not a real restaurant. So it's disguised as a real restaurant. But it's just having friends over. I've disguised having guests over as a restaurant. You know? So
the food reminds people of home. Well, I'll serve them what I grew up with. Frozen dinners.
That's awesome. It was an awesome story.
Oh my god, I give it a thumbs up. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously, I thumbs it up.
That's
obvious.
Pretty good. Yeah, I wonder if you could have driven your Lego go-kart to the restaurant if you would have had valet parking for it.
Oh, maybe.
Because that's
how do you get a Lego go-kart?
You can build one apparently. So.
I was thinking like Lego my Ego.
No. How about Lego like
the
building bricks? So somebody apparently built a electric go-kart made from Lego. They used 7,000 pieces and then 32 tiny electric motors to propel it at a top speed of 2.5 miles an hour.
Is this the new moon rover?
It is now, Brian.
Because they souped it up. It's going fast.
Zoom, zoom.
Mars rover. This is the one that's going to be able to see. Oh, it's made out of Legos. How come he didn't say that?
It's in the title.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think you're going to go anywhere fast, but I give this person props for coming up with a way to make a drivable thing. If you watch the video, you can control it apparently with a smartphone. There's an app for going forward and backwards.
Nice.
The only problem I see with it is it's only good for people who weigh under 150 pounds.
Oh.
Really? None of us can drive it.
Yeah. I think they should make a better one.
Strong.
That's it. Thumbs down. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm torn between giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I wanted to immediately give it a thumbs up, but now that I can't drive it, I want to give it a big fat thumbs down.
I think it's pretty cool. Thumbs up. Way to go.
I'm giving one of these.
You know, I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs up because I think it's pretty sweet, and I would totally ride it even if I weighed more than 150 pounds.
It wouldn't go as fast or as far, but it would be so much fun.
I might make it down my driveway.
Dope.
All right. Well, that's all the news we got for tonight. We'll move on to our Elon Musk pitches for the week. So, anybody want to start us off?
Alrighty.
I think that Elon Musk should make a Lego go-kart kit for people who weigh over 150 pounds.
It drives itself, and
I like that. I like that a lot.
And it goes faster than 2.5 miles an hour. I'm shooting for
Yes.
like 25 miles an hour.
That's pretty sick. That'd be awesome. I drive that around town. I look so dope.
Dope. I want it to look like a miniature pickup truck. I'll go to Menards.
You're making a
and
lot
pick
of
stuff up.
a lot of requirements here for Muskie baby.
He can do it. He's already built an electric car.
This is true. Not out of Legos. Oh, can part of the package be that Elon Musk comes and helps you assemble it? One piece at a time.
Certainly would be an option. Yes.
Nice.
It's an add-on.
An add-on bonus feature. Man, I'm blanking on my big idea. You know what? I feel like it needs to be hot air balloons.
It'll come to you.
Hot air balloons.
Just hot air balloons.
you want Elon Musk to invent a hot air balloon?
No.
I think
just
he could
want-
actually achieve that.
I'm
I just
pretty
want
sure
to
they
pitch to
already
him-
exist.
Nah.
I just want to pitch to him hot air balloons. I feel like if I just say Elon Musk, hot air balloons, am I right? It'll come to him.
I don't think they exist. I think they're a hoax, like the moon landing and Mars rover and Pixel 4s. All hoaxes.
All right. I'm
Yeah,
just going to put
just-
down hot air balloons. Am I right?
There it
Am
is.
I right? That's awesome.
I
And if
give
he
it a
does
thumbs up because I would like to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, me too. Good luck, Muskie.
Muskie. I don't have one.
Nothing.
Matt?
Matt?
I'm not even working on a good one. I just don't even have one.
I do not have one.
All right.
I like how Matt continues to like hide his camera more and more each week. Like just pretty soon it's gonna be voyeur Matt. We're just gonna be looking through
It'd be
like
like this.
some
Dude.
blinds.
You like that, do you?
There'll just be some blinds like this, and we'll be able to see.
That's kind of creepy.
Hey, what's up? I'm voyeur Matt.
All right. With that, I think I'm going to call this council meeting adjourned. Thank you
Adjourned.
for listening. We record this podcast live Tuesday nights on YouTube. And if you liked what you saw and want to check out all of our past episodes, you can go to councilcast.org or subscribe to us on your favorite podcatcher or iTunes. If you have a topic you would like the council's incision on, you can email us at councilcast@gmail.com or connect with us on Twitter @RealCouncilCast. Thanks for listening.
For
and
sure.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.